White people put shampoo in their hair and let it run down their body, and they call themselves clean.
What's good, you guys, and welcome back again on another episode. How are you guys doing? I hope you all are well, and if you're joining for the very first time, thank you and you're welcome on the channel. In today's video, we are going to go through this video together. When I came across this video, I could have bet that it has to be a joke, but listening to these people, these grown people literally having this conversation, I don't know if it's a podcast or an interview, but this conversation actually stinks. I know this might probably not be the very first time that you guys are coming across videos like this. I have never paid attention to even know conversations that people are still having in 2023, and it's even a conversation coming from grown people. These white people are talking about how washed clothes is for the poor. Like, they were even given examples of situations that has happened in their life and how they will never use washcloth because they know that it is for poor people. Let's just get right into it because I'm still struggling to believe that they are being for real.
Washcloths are for poor people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I only have one friend use washcloths, and when she would stay with me, she'd say, "Can I have a washcloth?" And I said, "I don't have washcloths. There's no washcloth. Use your hand, dummy."
I really do remember the first time I crashed at a poor friend's house, and then he handed over like a towel for after the shower, and then a bar soap, and then a little one. I go, "What's the little towel?" And he goes, "A washcloth." And I threw it back at him. I'm like, "I'm good." And he was like,
I saw this video a while ago, and as you can see, this tweet says, "Is poor code for ... And I'm going to answer that question for you. They talked about this already, and I made a video about it in the past. Let's watch it.
You're just anti-black
"I'm not black.
washes.
I'm not gonna wash my legs and feet."
You think that's just a black people thing?
Clearly,
Well, and he's...
the only one here who took the day off washes his legs and feet. No, I don't think it's a black thing. I think using washcloth is for poor people, but I
Yeah.
don't think that washing your legs and feet is for black people.
I agree. I think the washcloth is a poor person thing.
What?
Because
I've only met poors who use them.
He said it wasn't about black people, but then says, only black people wash their feet and their legs. And a lot of us already know. We've had these conversations before. It's in sitcoms. It's on television, TV. We use washcloths. It's no, secret. And we always talk about how white people just use their hands. They use the bar soap. How does it make you poor? I don't know, because you have to pay for washcloths. But I guess that makes me poor, because I'll never stop using my washcloth. It makes me feel clean. It gets me clean. And I get to wash my feet and my legs with it as well.
White people put shampoo in their hair and let it run down their body, and they call themselves clean. And y'all are surprised that they're not using washcloths? In that process, when would they use the washcloth? Do they use it on their head like a fucking sponge brush? What would they be doing? Of course they don't use washcloths. Why are we surprised? Let it be. Let the shit stay cheap, because I promise you, if I buy a rag for $12, I'm fucking flipping some shit. I promise you that. Let them do them, we do us. Cleanliness is next to godliness, and I know hell smell.
And then a bar soap, and then a little one. I go, "What's the little towel?" And he goes, "A washcloth." And I threw it back at him.
Y'all wonder why y'all babies can't sleep at night, why they itchy, why they always got a skin rash. It's because they not getting clean. There was a TikTok of a black girl who was dating a white boy, and she records and goes, "I'm going to show him how to use a washcloth for the first time." Mans came out the tub talking about, "I've never been so clean in my life." Also, y'all know good well every black American uses washcloths. And I hate the when people don't know nobody. You know. I love, their podcast usually, and then the Two Bears, One Cave. Those are really good. But I know it's stinking. It gotta be hot. Please give it a try at least once. Better yet, come back and give us a review.
Calling people poor for simply using a towel to wash themselves as opposed to their hands, which also have dirt on them, no matter how much body wash or Dial bar soap you put on it, is crazy. How are you calling me poor for properly washing myself? Nobody said you had to use the washcloth, babe. If you want to continue to separate yourself from cleanliness, you can do so. But acting like when you say washcloths are for poor people. You're not talking about what we know you talking about. That's such a throw a rock and hide your hand ass move. Like, especially when you have older podcasts out there which already state in the video that it's synonymous with black people. So you're not covering your tracks very well in general. Like, it's just really crazy. All we want you to do is wash your legs and wash them properly. That's insane.
I agree. I think the washcloth is a poor person thing. Because
This is so funny to me because this is the same group of people who relied on us to bathe them for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. It was so bad at some point we had to force them to bathe. You understand what I'm saying? They know nothing about, like, bathing is not a part of their culture. Like, for real, for real. I mean, some of their cultures, yeah, but, like, these people's cultures, no, not really. It's not really, like, a them thing. It's not really a them thing. We literally had to do that for them. Up until very recently. And nowadays, the only families that do have people that look like me helping them learn how to bathe are the people that can afford to hire a full-time nanny, a full-time caretaker in their house. And speaking of that, like, I had a group of white friends growing up, not because, like, I no particular reason besides the fact that their nannies were Jamaican, I'm Jamaican, so, like, whenever I knew their nannies somehow, like, I don't know how, I was a child back then, but they would always ask me to hang out with the kids that they're watching. It was the whole thing, right? And I remember a few years ago, there was a conversation online about washing your legs and your feet in the shower. And I remember asking those friends, like, hey, do you guys wash your legs? Like, what's going on there? And they're like, yeah, we wash our legs and we use a washcloth. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? And these are all wealthy people. Wealthy people. You know what they all had in common? They all had in common that their families had enough money to hire Black and Latino caregivers, nannies, to come in and teach their kids basic skills, including bathing. Also, I don't understand how using a washcloth is poor people activity when you literally have to pay more money to buy washcloths. Like, they're not free. You have to buy them. They're not free. You have to buy them, and then when they get old, you have to buy more, and when they get bleached, you have to buy more. Like, they're not free. I would assume not using a rag is a poor person activity, but even the poorest people I know, even back in Jamaica, my family living in the mountains, in houses that were made of plywood, use washcloths. The cat wants to come outside.
Washcloths are for poor people.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I only have one friend use one.
Yeah, no. So we're not bringing the funky asses into 2024. It just does not need to happen. And let me say, I have missed y'all. This winter has been terrible on my respiratory system. I cannot seem to get well. So let me just say a late Happy Christmas and Merry New Year. But as far as these funky asses go, we just cleared up a myth here. I don't want to hear no more comments about not using washcloths. That's white people shit. Apparently that's rich people shit. Now we're poor because we don't want to be funky. Us washcloth users. No, I don't like it. I could just smell the two of them through that video. Probably smell like onions and hot dogs. I don't like it. Use a washcloth. I don't care how you wash, what products you use or whatever. You're gonna need a cloth for some crevices, some areas. I mean, why we gotta be poor? Because we don't want to be out here smelling like an autopsy. Come on now. In 2024, let's just make sure, you wash your ass, all right? And I'd rather be poor and clean than rich and funky.
So in a recent clip that I just saw, Tom Segura says washcloths are for poor people.
washcloths are for poor people.
And my mind is blown.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I only have one friend use washcloths, and when she would stay with me, she'd say, can I have a washcloth? And I said, I don't have washcloths. There's no washcloth. Use your hand, dummy.
Since when is a washcloth, or in South Africa we call it a vaslap, since when is a vaslap for poor people? How are you supposed to?
I really do remember the first time I crashed at a poor friend's house, and then he handed over like a towel for after the shower, and then a bar soap, and then a little one. I go, "What's the little towel?" He goes, "A washcloth." And I go, I threw it back at him. I'm like, "I'm good," and he was like,
I guess every South African is poor for using a slap.
Washcloths are for poor people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I only have one friend use one.
It's only January the 3rd, and what am I watching? See, this is the reason. This is the reason why a lot of us can't mess with people like that. Entitled, racist, dirty white people. I'm not saying all white people are the same. I'm not, because I know a lot of white people that are really clean people and not racist people. But like, what do you mean it's a black thing? First of all, I'm not black. I'm Mexican. And ever since I can remember, we've always used either a washcloth. Washcloths, I use them especially like when I'm out of town visiting family or whatnot. I take a washcloth. But, those scrubbers or things like that. Some people use loofahs. I don't like loofahs. And my kids use those as well. How do you... And then they're laughing like they're so right. Like, and then she's saying, use your hands. What? What do you mean use your hands? Do you not know that dirt accumulates in your body? Like dead skin is in your body that you need to get rid of, that could create infections in your skin or rashes in your skin. Like I can understand a lot of people feel, especially with that culture, feel a certain type of way because I don't know why they think that, dirt doesn't, you just doesn't touch their body or something, doesn't stick in their body. I don't know why. I guess a lot of us have worked labor jobs or, jobs that require to be outside. I mean, I don't.
What do you guys think about what these two people said on their podcast? Washcloth is for poor people. There was another clip before of this same person talking about how using washcloth is like a black people thing. So then he's trying to rephrase and say using washcloth is for poor people, but people already peeped that you are actually talking about black people. You don't need to rephrase. You don't need to say it in another way. You have already said it before on your interview that using washcloth is for black people, and now you're saying it's for poor people. It's a poor people thing. Washcloths are not free. People literally pay money to get washcloths. Another thing that was a bit shocking in that interview was I only have a friend, just one out of maybe so many friends you have that use washcloths. How do people who don't use washcloth smell actually? Because I don't believe you're not going to have a smell if you don't use a washcloth. Like it's just like real. You're supposed to be clean without a washcloth. How is your hand going to be able to get the dirt that stick on your skin for so long? Like how are you supposed to use your hand to get that off? How are you supposed to use just a bar soap to get that off? And the fact that this conversation is coming from grown people, I would have sworn that it was a joke. I would have sworn that it's not a conversation that we are having in this 2024. Like it's just few days into the year, and this conversation is a conversation that these people are starting with, saying black people are poor because they use washcloth. Black people are literally poor because they choose the path of cleanliness. It's not making sense. Let me hear what you guys think in the comment section, because I will have sworn it was a joke. I will have tell people that no, they are joking, they are not serious. But seeing the former video they've made in maybe last year and still saying the same thing in this new year, I think they are doing this to actually get the attention of people. They will never be for real that a washcloth you pay for is actually attributed to a poor people thing. It can never be a real thing. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you all so much for joining. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe before you go and turn your bell notification on as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, and I love you guys.